My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Heart for Hire today, and they can say their names and what they do in the band.
Hey, what's up? I'm Julie, and I sing and play rhythm guitar in Heart for Hire.
Awesome. So my first question, Julie, how did you start out the band? How did you get all your members and things of that nature?
The band kind of got its start would be back in 2013, and basically, there's two ways we say it started. One was a Craigslist ad, and the other was a secondhand Tinder match, as we call it. Basically, Ty, our drummer, and myself were kind of fed up with bad musician matches after bad musician matches just not working out. So we kind of turned to Craigslist. He stumbled upon my ad, and then we kind of got together, started writing music. Later on, a friend of mine that I actually met, technically via Tinder, but through a world of other things, but technically met via Tinder, he was involved in the music scene as well, and I said that I needed a bass player, so he pointed me over to Mike, our bass player, who then found Brian via Facebook. So it's a cluster of internet meetings. Sounds super sketchy, but I assure you we're all good people.
That sounds super interesting. I think that's probably the first I've ever heard of like Tinder facilitating a band. That sounds a little bit
Yeah,
odd.
it was really funny. Tinder's weird because like I have met a lot of musicians just like because we'll just be joking with my friends or something on Tinder and just be back and forth, and like then I'll just be like, oh, I know this musician, and it's funny the amount of musicians that are on Tinder. So yeah, that's kind of how it happens.
That's pretty funny. Next question, Julie. Since you're from the PA area, what are some favorite venues you like to go catch shows at or go play at?
I think my favorite one in the area here is the Chameleon Club. Definitely, we played at the Chameleon Club quite a few times now. That's definitely my number one. Other venues I like to go to, I go to Telus 360 downtown a couple of times. But recently, because Brian and Mike are from the Baltimore area, I started going to a lot of Baltimore shows, like local shows there. We play a decent bit in Baltimore. I love going to Soundstage. I love going to, I went to Metro Gallery recently, which is another really awesome venue. Angels Rock Bar has been putting on some amazing shows, so lots of cool venues in Baltimore. So I kind of go back and forth between the two areas there. It's a lot of fun.
Nice, nice. All right, next question. What are some of your musical influences?
Me personally, I know some of my musical influences. I kind of started out like a lot of kids in this genre of music. Started out listening to bands like All Time Low, Yellow Card, Taking Back Sunday, and I think now that's kind of more transitioned over to bands like I've been listening to a lot of like Bad Sons, Mr. Wives, so a lot of like indie pop bands and alternative bands. But it kind of helps me because I listen to something that's completely different from the style we play, and it kind of helps me come up with new ideas for what we do play. I know Ty, our drummer, is really into bands like The Starting Line and Newfound Glory. Mike is also into Newfound Glory, and Brian and I are both we like the indie pop bands like a lot. So that's kind of been my influence for the past year or two now.
Nice, nice. And I also feel like having different backgrounds in terms of what you listen to also changes up what you initially come out with and things of that nature. So I do a lot of the bands you mentioned I do like, so I definitely feel like for me I have to go and try to listen to your stuff and see if I can pick out some of the like older sort of more stuff that I listen to, like Taking Back Sunday, Newfound Glory, stuff like that. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think you'll definitely be able to pick out some of those older influences, and I think that's really prevalent in our first and second EP. A few new nuances with the second EP, and then I think when we go to do new material, you'll find a lot of the bands that I just mentioned that are a lot different from what we do now. You'll probably find some of that kind of come out in the new music.
Awesome, awesome. So my next question, kind of a follow up to the last one, what has been some bands that you've been jamming more recently?
So like I said, Mr. Wives, Bad Sons, I love those bands. I've been listening to a lot of Paris. Paris is one of my favorite bands now, and they've really been kind of making waves in this scene.
Oh yeah.
Um, I also I listen to bands like Silverstein, Hands Like Houses, Amarosa. So I love bands like that and in that scene of music. But then I also listen to artists like I listen to Halsey. I love Halsey.
Oh nice.
A
Yeah.
lot of different pop artists that are coming out with really cool stuff. It's funny because I know back in the day, like me and a lot of my friends used to be like purists, like, oh, I'm never gonna listen to like radio pop, and like we always just wanted to assume like it's so bad. But then like once I kind of got myself out of that, like trying to be the whole like kid, like, oh, my parents don't understand me, so I listen to this music. But there's a lot of really awesome stuff to be heard in pop music, and like I said, it helps translate over when you're not listening to the same thing that you play like all the time. So
Yeah,
definitely those bands and those artists have really been in my playlists a lot.
I
Uh,
agree. I agree with the whole like I, some pop bands I do definitely like assimilate with. Like I love Bruno Mars. I know like his stuff. Some people are like either on the fence about, or they're like, especially within the music that we listen to. But for me, it's like I don't typically listen to radio stuff, but I do find bands that kind of have that sort of radio flair that make them different from what you typically hear in the Warp Tour, I guess, kind of scene. So I do agree with that. I also agree with Paris. They are like absolutely blowing up. So
yeah,
definitely,
they're a phenomenal band, and I think one of the things too is they're kind of that next band that I think like you hear, like, because I hear a lot of bands coming up, and you definitely hear a lot of that Paris influence, be it they're taking from, like, because Paris started out as a metalcore band,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
So some people, I think, are really drawing from their older sound, and some people are drawing from their newer sound. And that's really cool that Paris is now, like, the band on the up and up that everyone's kind of trying to, like, model after. But I do love the whole thing about, indie pop bands. I think especially some of them that don't necessarily make it onto mainstream radio but are super
yeah.
popular kind of blend some of our two favorite things about the whole Warped Tour scene and what we love about pop music, and it's a great happy medium. I know bands like Coin
Yeah.
and Small Pools, Brian and I really like those bands, so yeah, those are another one that we've been listening to a lot lately.
Awesome, awesome. So my next question, Julie, is a fun one. If you could pick a song to cover, what song would it be?
You pick a song to cover. I was actually just talking to the guys about doing a Halsey cover.
Ooh, okay.
I really do. Gasolina's from her old album, but I've
Yes.
seen bands do stuff from her new album, and those have been super, super cool. So I've liked those ones. I've liked Halsey a lot. Here's another one that I would definitely cover. I want to cover Amy Winehouse. So I think
Ooh, okay.
number one, I think the number one I'd probably cover is Valerie by Amy Winehouse. I think that's an awesome song, and I always hear like there's so much I could do with it. So I think it would be awesome to cover Valerie by Amy Winehouse. But speaking of covers, we're actually doing, I'm not sure if you saw, we're
Yeah.
doing an entire all-time low cover set at the end of August in their hometown at one of the biggest venues in Baltimore. So there's a little bit of mounting pressure there, but I think it's going to be fun. We started running through all the covers and everything, and so we're having such a blast doing it, like, because we missed that music so much. So I think it's going to be a really fun time.
I think it's also like a bunch of nostalgia too, because like that band's kind of like one of the bigger bands that came out of that Warped Tour sort of scene. So for me, like that would be cool to see. So hopefully somebody gets video. That'd be cool. I'd like to inevitably see that maybe, but that would be
I'm trying. I'm aiming to have someone there with a camera, or just leave like a GoPro running or something, because we have a lot of really cool surprises for
awesome.
the show. So I think that'll definitely make its way to the interwebs via one of us.
Awesome, awesome. Next question, Julie. Another fun one. Favorite food to eat?
Sushi is really high up there. I know band favorite is definitely burritos.
Ooh,
One of our big things is whenever we play downtown at the Chameleon Club in Lancaster, we always go to Rob Burritos across the street. So
yes.
burritos are definitely a band favorite. I know I like sushi a lot. Ty's actually a chef. I kind of wish he was here. Ty, our drummer, is a chef. He would be like, he would be all over this question. But yeah, sushi and burritos are definitely up there.
I feel like Ty and I would get along. I do a little bit of like amateur cooking, so like
Oh, right on.
I love I mean like if I'm not doing this or I'm not like editing videos, I'm watching a lot of Food Network. That's like
Yeah.
my jam. So I can totally get down with that. I just had raw burritos probably about a month or two ago. I went out to launch conference.
Life.
Yeah, I went. It's so good. I went out to launch conference pretty recently, so I was like, I gotta. My friend Evan from Civil Youth was like, "Yo, let's go to raw burritos." So we went to raw burritos, and that was like really close to one of the best burritos I've had. Period. So I,
Robert is the jam. We were at launch this year. We played Thursday night, but we played like super duper late, so unfortunately
okay.
not everyone was able to see us because of age restrictions, and it was just late. But yeah, so we definitely, that was a place that we made a stop at during launch. Rock Burritos is like a Lancaster staple, especially in the musicians that come in the area, because if they're playing Chameleon Club, usually like Rob's will hook them up with burritos and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah. Definitely. If I'm ever out there again, I have to go back. But next question, Julie. If you could pick somebody to collaborate with, who would it be?
Oh God, that's such a good one. You're giving me really good questions here. It's not like the same typical stuff. Oh my God, if I could collaborate with anyone, um, probably, dude, that is a tough one. Wow, that is a tough one. Oh my God. If I could I would probably say I would love to collaborate with probably Lynn Gunn from Paris. I think
Ooh, okay, yeah.
she does like their whole thing, like, and she's very hands-on with writing the music. There's so many like female artists I see like up and coming, and I think the idea of collaborating with other female artists would be awesome. I think I'd also love to collaborate with Adam Lazzaro from Taking Back Sunday. So any of those two, I think I would be all over collaborating with. Definitely could make some cool jams with that.
There you
I know
go.
you said one, but I was just like, God, I can't pick one.
That's probably like the hard. I'll be honest
My
with you. That's probably the hardest question that people have to answer.
my dog is being noisy in the background. I do
That's
apologize.
all right. My dog's barking a lot too. But anyway, next question: if you could play another musical instrument besides the ones you know how to play, what would it be and why?
Piano. Definitely piano. I've always wanted to learn how to play drums, but I think piano is at the top of my list. Like, anytime I see people sit down at a piano and they just, I guess, shred on piano, I'm, God, I want to be able to do that. I actually started, I'm trying to write a little bit more on piano, even if it's just figuring out melodies and stuff on my keyboard, but I'm trying to do a little bit more of that because I've been such a one trick pony with instruments. I play guitar and I sing, so I'm trying to venture out. But definitely piano. I think it's a gorgeous instrument.
I also agree with that sentiment. I like to learn how to play piano. Drums is probably another one, just because I don't have any like hand leg coordination. Period. So I feel like that would be a good one. But
I tried to learn a couple beats on drums, and I was just like hands and feet. Nope, can't separate them.
yep, you feel my pain on that one. But next question, Julie. I don't know how big of a video game fan you are. I usually ask this question, but if you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Oh my God, it would have to be. I'm not like a super big video game fan. Like, I grew up playing video games. Like, all the Mario games are probably on the top of my list.
Yeah.
So I probably have to either be like Luigi because he can jump the highest. Because like Mario's fast and all, but Luigi can always jump higher. Or Yoshi. Yoshi was the bomb. Like,
I
still is though.
I
So
agree.
one of those two.
Sweet.
But yeah, those are the Mario characters are definitely like my favorite.
Awesome, awesome. Next question. In your opinion, who puts on a great live show and a favorite show that you've been to?
Um, so the top, like probably the best show I've ever been to was I went to Firefly in 2015,
Ooh.
and not even planning to do this. I met up with my cousin. We were gonna go see Cage the Elephant. I somehow
Ooh.
managed to get to a crowd of probably about 30,000 people. We get the crap beat out of us during Cage the Elephant. It's a great time and everything. And so at this point, we're dead front and center. I mean, two people back from the railing of the main stage, and we're like, why don't we just hang out for Paul McCartney? So we waited 3 hours, and I saw a 2.5 hour set of Paul McCartney, the man, the myth, the legend, dead front and center, like so close I could see the sweat on his face, and it was amazing. It was such a cool show. Like, we could look direct up and make eye contact with Paul McCartney. So that was the coolest show I've ever been to. Live shows, probably Two of the best live shows I'll ever see. I'm not good at just picking one. I'm
Okay,
really.
that's fine.
But, I think I saw Tonight Alive probably 4 years ago, right when The Other Side was coming out,
Yeah.
and they were really pushing that album. And they had one of the best live shows. Like, I think sometimes I see a lot of bands that are super reliant on lighting and sampling and backtracks to kind of fill out the energy of the set. I mean, these guys could have just played in a conference room, but the energy they have is wild. That was an amazing live show, and that was in the Chameleon Club, actually.
Nice, yeah.
And the other one was Silverstein puts on a phenomenal live show. Silverstein is so great, and the fact that they've been doing it for so long and they still come out and throw everything they have on that stage. So two bands of note that I think put on amazing live shows.
Nice. I think you definitely stole. I have a little bit of jealousy in my heart for the Paul McCartney. I like. I grew up listening to like the Beatles. Like a lot of my
Yeah.
parents are like classic rock fanatics, and like the Beatles was like one of those bands that they played all the time. So I'm definitely a little bit jealous that you got to see Paul McCartney. Like that's been a dream of mine. So fingers crossed. Maybe this fall. I think he's playing in like New York City. So maybe I'll get the
I
chance.
absolutely recommend to see it. And to be honest, I never listened to a ton of Beatles growing up. I know people are going to be like, "What's wrong with you?" It's not that I don't like them. It's just that I never was like, no, I never
Into
had
it,
like
yeah.
parents saying how great the Beatles are, which is it's funny because my mom grew up in England. So she grew up in England and Scotland, and obviously the Beatles were a big thing. But I never hear her rant and rave about the Beatles. But I could just appreciate the fact that these guys are legends and revolutionized what rock and roll is. So like once we got to the front there, I was like, you know what? Let's just because I'm never going to be able to like buy the tickets to see them. So we just stayed up there, and it was amazing. So
That's
if you're able to do it, I highly recommend it.
that's amazing. Next question, Julie. If you if you could have a dream tour, who'd be on it?
Oh my God, that's such a tough one. Okay, definitely. Oh, I just said definitely, and then I like draw like a huge blank. So I know we just talked about like bands we would tour with. I would love to tour. Actually, I would tour with Bring Me the Horizon because their live show is just phenomenal. Just all the lighting and stuff they do and the stage layouts that they play. Like I just saw a Bring Me the Horizon tour, and it's amazing. I don't know if we'd fit on there, but I would tour with Bring Me the Horizon. I would absolutely tour with All Time Low. They're still doing the thing, and they're awesome. I would love to tour with All Time Low one day. So either Bring Me the Horizon or All Time Low, and then I guess like big bands coming up now. Like I would tour with like 30 Seconds to Mars or Muse or something like that. So
Yeah, that
as far as
like
big bands, like I'm like dreaming big here, thinking like that. If not, would definitely tour with like Tonight Alive or Hands Like Houses, something like that.
that would be
But
sick.
yeah, there's a lot of really cool bands that I'm just like, God, I would love to tour with you. Like I'll see shows and I'll see bands opening, and I'm just like, oh my God, Heart for Hire would do great on this tour package right now. I like to dream big when I go to shows.
I mean, also like they had 30 Seconds to Mars, Muse 30 Seconds to Mars, and then Paris. They just did that tour. I don't know if it's over yet, but I know that one's been going on. So
I didn't even think of that. That's actually a good one. Well, the reason I brought that up is I've gone to Firefly for the past 3 years.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
yeah, and it's cool because it's not necessarily bands that I'm all about. It's just a really cool festival. It's a cool place to be. And they had 30 Seconds to Mars and Muse, which were two of the best live shows I've seen. And Jared Leto is so animated on stage, and it's just so cool, like the way he gets the crowd involved. And I'm just like, if I could ever get a crowd that excited about music I'm playing, then I'm doing something right. It was really, really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I hope to. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Firefly next year because the lineup I did like, but I don't know. Just things happened where I couldn't go. But I will definitely see if I could try to make it out to next year's because I hear it's been pretty good every year so far. So I'm excited.
It's pretty wild. If you're not a big camping person, which I'm not a big camping person, when you're camping on the heat like that for 5 days, like at the end of it, you're just like, I want to shower. I want to sleep in a bed. Yeah, I saw some cool artists, but I need to like eat real food and like sleep in a bed right now. But yeah, no, it's definitely very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Next question. Favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Um, my favorite TV show is either Shameless or Orange is the New Black.
Ooh, good choices.
Those are like two of my top favorite shows on Netflix. Um, and then you said favorite movie.
Correct.
Favorite movie. Oh God, that's a tough one. I love the Harry Potter series. I just started rewatching all of those, so like the whole Harry Potter series is great, and that's coming from someone I skipped around the books so bad. But I love the Harry Potter series. I was just watching the first movie like 2 days ago, and I was just like, God, I forgot how good this movie is. So they're definitely like that's definitely one of my long-standing favorite movies.
That's
And
awesome.
probably the first one too, because the first one was where he's getting like introduced to everything, and like it's not like the later movies are still cool, but it's like been there, done that in the Hogwarts thing. So yeah, definitely the first Harry Potter movie is one of my favorites.
Awesome, awesome. And my last question, if you could only listen to one album for a month straight, what album would it be?
You give me really good questions. This one's tough. One album that I'd have to listen to for the rest of the month. My God, this is really, really tough because I listen to like I always jump around with a bunch of different albums. Um, wow, this is a really, really tough one. Hold on, let me look at my Spotify. I'm literally gonna go look at my Spotify right now
I
because I'm so all over the place with this.
I feel you on that because like again, I do this, so like I have to listen to a bunch of different albums. So somebody asked me about it, and I don't think I'll change my answer, but it's it's got to be before you while you're looking one up. I probably have to go with I'll have to go with two. One will be Artifex Pareo's Time and Place. That album just is so amazing. And then I probably have to go with um hmm, probably have to go with I the Mighty Satori. Ironically enough, I'm wearing an I the Mighty shirt, but like that band is like my favorite band for sure. So I probably have to go with those two.
Well, it's good you shared that because while you were thinking, it just popped up in my head, and like I have the perfect answer for it now. And it's not even on my Spotify that I just looked at because I listened to it like a week ago. Probably the Dangerous Summers Reach for the Sun. That is one of the
Ooh,
best albums I have ever heard. And it's one of those like because there's albums that I listen to like over and over again, and I really liked them, but it's I have to be in such a mood to go back to it. But anytime I put on Reach for the Sun, it's like I will listen to the album the whole way through. I love the songs, I love the lyrics. It's easy to listen to. It's not like super heavy or super poppy. It's a great album to just put on when you're driving or you're just doing stuff around the house. So that's probably like if I had to listen to that album for a month, I think it'd be okay.
awesome, awesome. And lastly, Julie, tell them about your band, where they can find you at, on like social media, and like you said, anything coming up in the next couple months.
Yes, so we are on Facebook. You just search Heart for Hire or facebook.com/Heart for Hire band, Twitter and Instagram at Heart for Hire. You can find us on Bandcamp, again, bandcamp.com or heartforhire.bandcamp.com. The next thing we have coming up, we'll be announcing it pretty shortly here. We've got a short Northeast run that we're going to be doing very early August. And then at the end of August, we have that all-time low cover show. Tickets are available on our merch store, heartforhire.bandcamp.com, at a discounted rate, so you can get those a good bit cheaper than you can get them anywhere else. So we have that show coming up. We're doing another Philly date at the end of the month, and we are right now in the process of starting work on a full-length album. So that is all stuff that's coming up in the near future with Heart for Hire.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I'd like to thank, first of all, Julie for coming on. I think Eric from Dead Eyes pointed me in your direction. So thanks to Eric from Dead
Hey,
Eyes.
thanks, Eric.
He's the man. Thank you
He
for
is
that.
definitely.
But I had them on pretty recently. I know that they're from like PA, so I like met up with them at launch as well. So launch always facilitating cool things. But definitely
Lancaster too, so we're friends with all those guys. They're super cool guys. We've played with them a couple times now.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, definitely go check out Julie's band Heart for Hire. There will be links in the description where you can go find out about them. Go give them a like. Go give them a follow. Go check out their music on Bandcamp or on Spotify or whatever you choose. But definitely go give them a listen. If you are in the Baltimore area, go check out their cover set. I am kind of bummed that I most likely will not be able to make it out there, but I would definitely go check it out if you live in that area. It should be
It's
a
going to
good
be a
time.
super huge night. The headliner is Dead, the My Chemical Romance tribute band, and they are
Ooh.
hell of a tribute band. It's big production, big lights, everything. So definitely check that out. And if you want to check out our music, we are on pretty much any music site your heart could imagine. And anything, whatever you prefer, we're pretty much on it. So yeah.
Awesome. So definitely go check their stuff out. If you enjoy what you see here, definitely hit the subscribe button. Make sure to hit that like button as well. We also have a merch store. There's a link in the description if you'd like to check that out as well. And Julie, thank you for coming on and chatting about your band.
Thank you.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.